Yeah, good morning, folks. It's Saturday morning here. Again, this is Saturday morning here, and this is where we stay in this room here. This is how it looks. See? So, it's two of us stay here. So, I put that guy on the bed, and I slept this way, down here. So that's where I stay. See, it's a nice hotel feeling like room. You have the closet there and the bathroom. You see, so it's this is Camp Hope. So this is how it looks like here. As you can see in Camp Hope, this is how it is. See, it's beautiful setup in here. The sink there, the face basin, and the bathroom behind there. That's my workplace for my desk. I do my upload and so forth with my videos. You know, you have a mirror here. As you can see, there is a mirror here behind of me. Yeah, also. So you have your mirror here also, and you have your lamps on each side, right, for a couple. And this morning we are going now to do our worship service up there. So I'm heading out now. Guys, I'm have the tea already, the breakfast. So I'm just heading out now, so to join the others. See, I'm already dressed. They say don't dress up, but I just cannot help. When it's come to worship God, I have to look nice. I don't know, when I go into a congregation, I have to put on my best. I don't like to look like if I'm going to walk. All right, so good morning, family. Again, good morning, friends. I tell you, back from Camp Hope yesterday evening, and now I woke up this morning, and this is what I woke up to. Look at that. He's crazy. Look at this. Look at this. I wake up to this morning. Oh, I need the key. I wake up to snow on. Pass me the key for the car. Tell mommy pass the key for the car. I woke up this morning to the snow on the ground here. This is all right, folks. So don't forget, if you come across my video for the first time, share, like, and subscribe to my channel, please. Let's make this channel grow. And thank you. And take my daughter to school here now. And make the channel grow. And I'll show you now the subject, what we did Saturday in Hope, Camp Hope. I hope you enjoy it, okay? All right.
I didn't even realize what divorce was. I was watching Sesame Street, and there was this little character on there, and they showed this big skyscraper, and then they showed this little town, and this little character got on there and said, my dad lives in this apartment building in the city, but my mom lives in this house in the country. Well, why? Well, because they're divorced. And as they explained this on Sesame Street, it hit me for the first and only time in my entire life that the two people that were my identity could separate. I went to bed really young. And I laid and I looked up at the floor above me and I just cried myself to sleep. At the very thought that my parents, my identity, that who I was would separate. I don't know the timeline from those tears and that realization to the announcement of my parents' divorce, but I remember very clearly when my dad told me that he was leaving my mom.
And my wife's from Cuba, so she went. In fact, the place I held the meetings was Holguin, Cuba, which is where she's from. So we went down there. She met some of her, relatives, their extended family, and so forth while we were there. While I was holding meetings. First night of the meeting, I get up to preach. The church is packed. People looking in when they open the windows. People looking in the windows. They even had some kind of little closed circuit thing set up. And I remember talking to the first elder. There was a pastor there. His name was Pablo Soler. But the first elder's name was Giovanni. I said, Giovanni, I said, tell me something. As a typical American evangelist, I asked, how many of these people are visitors and how many are church members? He said, they're all visitors. We told the church members to stay home. I said, what? I said, we need those church members. Only the ones that are helping, passing out literature and, ushers and so on. We told the rest of them to stay home. I said, why'd you do that? We knew you'd have a gigantic crowd because we've never had an evangelistic meeting in this town. I said, okay, that makes sense. Preached that night on, I think, Daniel 2 was my first message. Second night of the meeting, the head elder and the pastor comes to me and says, Ed, we've got a problem. All right, more respectful. I said, Elder Ed, Pastor Ed, we have a problem. I said, what's that? There's a Cuban judge in the audience tonight. I said, well, that's good. We like having our legislators and officials. Oh, no. Cuban judges are different than American judges. They're only here to find out if we're proselytizing, and they're probably going to have you arrested or sent back to America. I don't know what you're going to do. I said, well, I'm going to preach until they send the KGB in after me. I'm going to keep preaching. And he said, okay, Pastor, it's your funeral, so to speak. I said, all right. So I went up and continued preaching. Nothing said, although the people were real quiet. You didn't get a whole lot of amens that night. He came back, same thing. People were scared. After about 3 or 4 nights, they were really afraid that this guy was going to interfere with our meetings. In fact, he had the reputation of putting people in prison just for passing out a piece of literature. In fact, one man was in prison for 22 years for giving a Bible study. This judge was the one that sentenced him. So can you imagine being behind bars for 22 years for your faith? Unbelievable. So sure enough, I continued preaching. Then near the end of the series, I made several altar calls, but near the end of the series, I made an altar call, and the woman that was coming with him, beautiful woman, very attractive, she came forward in one of the altar calls. We had 77, interesting number, 77 people signed up to be baptized that night. We ended up baptizing about 100, but we had 77 that night. This lady was one of them. She signed a card that she wanted to be baptized. All of the church thought it was a trick. They thought she's just here because she's trying to figure out who else signed the cards so that he could have them arrested.
Wait. You gonna preach now?
No.
No?
No.
I thought you gonna preach. That's why I turned the camera on.
Let everybody hear the message.
I want my people them to hear the message. So what do you have to say, brother preacher, man? What's your name again?
This is Francois.
Huh?
Francois.
Francois.
You know him?
Sung like a
You never
French.
met him?
No.
You never met him?
I see him here and there, but I don't know.
So, oh,
Silas.
I'm Silas.
Silas. Well, let me see your name because I don't know your name. I know this man many years.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You don't know his name?
Yeah. I don't know his last name.
You are his bodyguard.
You don't know your boss? I don't know what he look like.
Yeah, folks, so here again is the campsite, and these are cabins here on the camp. So like in the summer when we have in camp, all these cabins here does be full with all these. So these are cabins here for families, and people rent out these cabins and they live here in these cabins here, spend the night, spend the day, spend the week for the camp. And this is how it looks like up here in these cabins. Number 1, 10, 11, 12, and you got 13, 14, and lots of cabins go all the way up here. And this is what it's like here in Camp Hope. You see it? Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? Camp Hope. All this land was given to the church, free of charge. So they give this land to the conference, the church, for a campsite, and they did what it been given for them to do, campsite. So all over is small buildings, and see some of these buildings here need repair, as you can see, need maintenance. Yes, so we are here in beautiful British Columbia. Look at the mountains. Mountains surround there, mountains up there, mountains over there, you know, and they are in the valley. So sometimes I just think about this. Every time I come to Camp Hope, I always think about this one. When God says that the mountain will all melt, I always think about that. If these mountains crumble down from up there, anyone who is in this valley die. No one will survive. Look at it. It's vast. Wow. It's beautiful here. Waiting on the boys in here. Let me go up here while some of the guy went to the washroom. That's the washroom there. So they went to the washroom. Let's continue here and show you the facilities over there they went. So these are some of the houses here on the campsite. Look at it, number 14. You know, and I'll show you. Look folks, I'll show you something here. Right? You think this campsite is very big. We are just at one area here. Now I want you to look over here. I'm gonna show you over here. See this side? There is a rope there to go down, and there is another side down there. That's where the animals them stay. You got the horses down there. And beyond that side is another camp, another more facilities down there. So there is a lot of things here on this campground. And the pastor was saying that when there was a fire, I think about 2 years ago, that the folks them whose built house did get burnt, they stayed here in this campsite. Was over 100 of them stayed at this campsite, and they have to take care of these folks. So I think they may be in with the government, have to help them, assist them, the folks. So these are the camp area. You can see I think this building needs more. I'm kind of surprised with these buildings here. So look at it. It's so beautiful, right? Wow. All this camp. This one looked like new. These two here looks fairly new. These ones fairly new. You can see they renovate these ones. 22, fairly new. Look at inside. Wow. And there is one there again. Someone stays. Wow. That's look at that. They put the roof on that one. Wow. Yeah, folks, so this is what it's like here in Camp Hope. So we're just taking a walk. Creation Station. That's one there, Creation Station. There is a tent up there. And up here is where the youths come up here. So up here is where the youth comes. They play the section up here for the youth. In that section over there, that's where the youth them have their things. And also up in there. That's how it is here. So it's lots of facilities here in Camp Hope. So it's a very beautiful place in the summer. It's really look nice, you know. Camp Hope, so beautiful. So up here in this auditorium here is the basketball court where the youth comes and they play their games, their basketball in the summer. I'll show you where the youth play their games. Look at the mountain, look at the mountain. Wow, see? Isn't that beautiful up there? I hope you can see. So here is where they play the games, the youth. So up here there usually be the youth camp. The youth come up here, this area for the youth. The youth camp up in the mountain here. And this building here is the basketball court here. See, this is the basketball court here. This is how it look inside here. One there and over here, one there. This is this court for the basketballs. This is it. All right. So folks, don't forget to share, like, and to subscribe to this channel as I continue to show you the beautiful campsite in Hope, BC. So this campsite here is the Seventh-day Adventist campsite, and this is the beauty of it. It's a very beautiful place. Many different denominations also come and rent here for camping when we are not using it. It's a beautiful place, campground.